I've got another incredible garden to show you today, and I didn't have to come far to go to work today because you guys are just spitting distance from the cottage, just 2.5 blocks. I am here with my buddy Charlie Helm, and boy, do we go back far.
We do.
Oh, I don't even want to go back that far. But let's
Probably shouldn't say.
We probably shouldn't say, but we were young career professionals together. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And with Kelly, yes.
Yeah.
And you guys have, let's see, Charlie, you bought this house.
I did. I bought it in 1989 from the Dudley family.
And there's only been three?
Three owners, built by Stephen Chandler, federal judge in Oklahoma City. And he sold it to the Dudleys in 1950, and I bought it in 1989 from the Dudleys. So 3 attorneys have owned the home.
Yeah, you might not want to mess with this house. You might not want to mess with this house. But this home was built in when?
1925.
25.
Yep.
And how would you describe the architectural style?
Kelly, what do you think? Country French, maybe something along those lines. Spanish influences as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's always had this stucco facade.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's also, and recently, experienced its share of drama.
It has.
So originally when I contacted you about doing the garden tour, you said yes, but only in the backyard because you said your front yard. Well, just tell us what happened.
We had a 100-year-old oak tree that was the pride of the neighborhood, just right of the ginkgo.
Okay.
And it covered the entire part of that lawn into our neighbor's lawn. The canopy started above our homes and filled the sky. It was glorious. Over the years, the ice storms and weather started beating it down. Mm-hmm. And we lost it to the point of having it topped completely and had about a 65-foot totem pole that we were going to leave in deference to the oak tree. And it started getting an oak rot, and the bark started falling off in huge chunks. And
do you remember what kind of oak it was? Was it a Shumard?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Not sure what it was, but it was glorious and it was huge and it was the pride of the neighborhood. You could see it above all these other trees. The canopy was incredible. Charlie English was our tree guy, and he had it on his website as a photograph for his website for years.
Oh.
And he took care of it for us all those years.
Yeah.
But we lost it. We decided to take it out about the time we had some work going on with the city out in the yard, digging up some new gas lines.
Because you needed to then completely renovate your turf, everything. So, by the way, he works with John and Roger at Garden Designs.
Yes.
And you put in these fabulous standard Nellie Stevens.
Yes, they just put those back in after all the construction was done and the tree was gone. They rehabilitated the lawn and added these trees. They put that little sycamore in on this side along with the ginkgo to kind of give the lawn in the front yard a little more weight.
Yeah, and sycamores are definitely a signature touch of this neighborhood.
Yes.
A lot of the streets are tree lined with old sycamore trees. And I really don't want to bury the lead here, which is the backyard. But look at the beautiful way that you are starting to train Carolina jasmine up and around the contours of your door. Now, it's important to point out that you face north.
Yes.
So if you were facing south, that may not have been an ideal situation, but you've got enough shade here for it to thrive.
We're hopeful that this takes. We've had some vines in the past that looked glorious that we lost in some storms, but hopefully this will be a new good look for us.
Yeah, if I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gardening in Oklahoma ain't for sissies.
That's right.
It really isn't. Well, can we go to the backyard?
Let's do.
Let's do. Oh my gosh, this is very Eastern. This is very New England, that you have this vine-covered fence here. And is this Boston ivy?
I think it is.
And I bet this is absolutely glorious in the fall.
Unbelievable.
And
in the heat of the summer, it cools off this area, keeps it cool in here.
It's cool here.
Really provides a nice cool area during the hot part of the season.
And I think what's also an unexpected benefit of it is that it gives you great winter interest because it's got such a beautiful skeletal form, and the berries in here contribute to that, and the birds like them, and so it's a nice little oasis for the birds. But it also gives you this just wonderful green backdrop, and as you said, cools this big expanse of concrete.
It really does.
It absorbs sound too.
And it does absorb sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a,
It's good. It's true. It's good.
It's like more quiet here
yeah.
for
And
some reason.
private.
Cuts off the reverb. Yeah.
And you've got so many wonderful seating areas. And I mean, how nice is this? To just have a seating area here with a chimenea that was burning pinon when we first came up, and it smells heavenly. But what I love about this is a great, try this at home. You've got a nice seating area out here, but equally as important, you've got a place to set your groceries down and everything if you've got to come up here and access the backyard.
That's it. Yeah. It's a pretty nice drop off right there.
Yeah, yeah. Or Charlie, you sit here and Kelly is lugging the groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually
Bringing you the
are
coffee.
hollering for me. Hey.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, it's just, yeah.
Place for the hose too.
Yeah, it's just really a wonderful little setback here.
We spend an awful lot of time right here.
Do you? Yeah, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do. You can start most of your projects from here.
Well, and you got nice shade back here, and you don't feel overly enclosed,
Right.
so that there's no breeze or anything. Okay, so now let's take a pause here, because you're not going to believe this backyard living room. Let's call it a backyard living room.
You bet.
Well, as you come down the drive, you've got the beautiful ivy-adorned fence, and then you've got these wonderful Taylor junipers, and I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on the number of really large pots that you use when it might be difficult to plant a large specimen in the ground initially or for whatever reasons, but sometimes a large pot, here's another example of it right here, can be really as effective as if you planted it in the ground.
They're all bottomless.
They're all bottomless. And then this is a touch that garden design always uses, and that's they mulch their pots with gravel of varying sizes. Keeps the moisture in, keeps squirrels out.
Well, and it helps it from falling over in the wind.
Good point. And you know, you wouldn't think that would be an issue.
But it is.
But is this faux concrete?
No,
it's real concrete.
yeah.
It's
So you
falling
would.
over.
You're kidding.
No,
Even with
twice? Yeah,
okay.
with the wind.
The power
There's
of
a lot
an
of wind in
Oklahoma
Oklahoma.
wind, yes. Okay, so, oh my goodness. Now, this is just spectacular. So the garage is here to give you a frame of reference, and then you come up into this, oh my gosh, it's, speaking of an oasis, this is it.
We love it out here, and we spend most of our time during the year out here. It's our outdoor living space.
Well, it is just incredible, and what I love about it, and I want you to speak to this, is that this looks like a seamless extension of your home, and yet this area wasn't added until.
It's been now probably
17.
Yeah. We had it done in 2018.
Okay.
So we've had it a few years.
But describe what they did to make it seem seamless in the transition.
I think they started with the brick color that was throughout the house in the front and back porch, and they tried to match the brick from the house, and then they took the stucco from the house for the pillars and tried to take the architecture of the braces and some of the features on the back of the porch and try to incorporate that into this space so that it all looked like it was here same time the house was built.
So
That was the goal.
So speak to me a little bit. I think this is hysterical because it just shows how we mature over time. But how you used to enjoy this backyard.
Oh, we did. We had our seating area was in the driveway, and we could look out on a Bermuda lawn, and that was about it. We had a few plantings along the back fence, but it was basically just a big Bermuda lawn.
And you watched your dogs tear up the back.
Watch
Yes.
the dogs tear through the backyard.
Yes, we did the same. Only we would watch my boys play Power Rangers.
Sure.
And then we would be the adoring audience for that. Well, this is just absolutely incredible, and it all looks so cohesive. There's just not one comma even in between the communication of this area with the original house. So, and I love the fact that you went big.
We
The
did.
scale matches the scale of the house.
We, when we first saw it, and actually saw some of Roger's designs, it was even larger in height. But we took it to the city, and to get our permit, they suggested we come down in the scale a little bit so we could match it a little more with the garage size and garage height, which turned out to be perfect.
And you put skylights in
We
to
did.
allow more light down in here. I love that.
That was another one of his features.
And you painted it, the ceiling a light blue, the good luck light blue.
That's right. Southern tradition.
Southern tradition.
Keep the ghost away.
And I love the furnishings, well, they're just wonderful. And they seem, well, they're heavy enough. So too, they are not going to blow away in the wind.
That one's going nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. And do you use the fireplace?
We use it constantly. We'll start it here in the fall, and we run it all through the winter and into late winter.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Oklahoma is we have a long season. If it ever, for us, it's just waiting for it to cool down enough to be able to use it. But even in January, you can come out here.
And we do. We've got a storage of blankets when we have and we entertain. Everybody gets a blanket, and we start the fire, and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely charming. And then if you want to sunbathe, Kelly, yes,
right.
yes. This is where you recline and Charlie waits on you.
I can usually catch her with a book there. Yeah,
Well, that's a pretty sweet reading spot.
it's not bad.
Absolutely. And then over in the distance, now tell me what was here and what
Sure.
wasn't here.
So when they began the process, the driveway was a grass lawn that came all the way around to this patio, which was there, but it was all grass. Even we had a step down from the library doors, French doors, but they put in this walkway. They created this new little area, brickwork area, to give it some distinction and let us get from the driveway all the way through to the backyard, back to the old patio. So we can use it all in transition.
And oh my gosh, you've got so much light coming in from the south. You've got so much light coming in from the south. So the internal light must be incredible.
It is, and we've left the back pretty much open with the windows, with the exception of this library. But we haven't put curtains or anything to block the sun coming in the back of the house. It's really nice in the afternoon, mid-afternoon. You get a lot of light.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you still have lots of privacy from all of these wonderful trees. I will release you. Thank you so much, though, for doing this. Do you mind if I continue and point out some other brilliant solutions that you have discovered for some problem areas that we all, it seems like, in these older homes experience?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Enjoy.
thank you.
Thanks.
Well, looking back, now we're out in the lawn itself, and you can look back to the outdoor living room and really appreciate all of the things we discussed in terms of the perfect scale of it and how it just blends so beautifully architecturally with the rest of the house. And I love the appointments. Like, could there be a better spot to hang a rain chain than right here? This looks like it might be from Santa Fe, but it's just the perfect vertical garden ornament to be right there. I really like that. Yeah. And I bet when it rains, it's a really, really cool feature. I also love the way they've done this roof, where this section is open to the sky and the other area isn't. Because so often you can feel a little bit oppressed in these closed-in, roof-enclosed outdoor porches because not a lot of light gets through them. And so I think they really took that into consideration. Now, Charlie tells me that over here in this southwest corner that this tree was original here, this mammoth southern magnolia that mercifully seems to have escaped a lot of the ice storms that we've had over the years. But there's another whole area in this space that you don't even, it's kind of a hidden area that you don't even know is back here. And he was telling us that this space right here, well, let's just go over here and look, Stuart.
Okay.
You can walk along here along the back of the fireplace. There's a little path here that goes to another, what I would think of as a reading bench back in there along the fence. And they've got the fence stained a really, really dark slate green, it looks like to me. Kind of a slate charcoal / green. And then this is brilliant, you guys. This is a way that you can address your needs, solve a problem, but without having to navigate through a lot of the stuff that we that live in historic areas have to navigate. And that's this area in here. So in the past, not unlike at the Fairy Tale House, I had separate guest quarters that we turned into the studio at my house. But this one was on the long end of the garage, not on the side end. And back in here, the light isn't exceptional. But this in here that they now use as a garden room and a storage area for all manner of things, this was where previously the guest quarters were. But this is what is so brilliant. He had a Suburban that wouldn't fit in this old garage. So what he did was just remove the wall. So he removed the wall from this. Now his car will fit in here. He didn't have to do anything to the exterior of the building itself or to the exterior of the garage, which meant he didn't have to deal with historic preservation and get any kind of certification to do this. And now he's got this wonderful indoor-outdoor kind of vibe going in here. And he said they just spent a lot of time in here puttering because Kelly is apparently the gardener.
Looking for things.
Yeah, yes, he said they spent a considerable amount of time looking for things, and we could relate to that,
Yeah.
couldn't we? Okay, now look at the charming overhang awning that they've built to the back door, which is just off of this outdoor living room. But we haven't done a question of the day in a while, Stuart, and I think here is a question of the day for you right now. I really want to know your opinion. Are you a person that likes to have a TV outside, or are you a purist and you don't want any kind of electrical type of entertainment outside? So what is your opinion on that? There's no right or wrong answer. There's just preferences. But this would be a pretty sweet spot to watch a football game, Stuart. Pretty sweet spot, especially if you're entertaining. So I think that's kind of fun. Now let's go back over here. And he was telling me that years ago he put in one of the blue Atlas cedars, and then they came back when they did the outdoor living room and they added a second blue Atlas cedar that kind of perfectly frames this space on the inside. Here's another rain chain. These look to all be probably just really large Chinese hollies, Burford hollies here. A very, very happy Globosa spruce. And then
look at the
also,
gold on
and yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? The way it captures the light.
So cool. Wow. All right, sorry.
And then this looks to be a carnation encore azalea. Yes, that's growing taller than I think it normally would because it doesn't get as much light back here. And then they've got what I think might be slash pines, and there's some old growth cedars back there. So you have this real sense of being enclosed, but it not being oppressive. If these were all deciduous trees cascading over the backyard, there would probably be no grass back here. But it nevertheless gives you the kind of intimacy that is helpful when you don't want to have window treatments on. So here is another brilliant solution that he was talking about, and that was this area back here that used to be a muddy mess, kind of a utilitarian area, back to the air conditioning and a place to channel water towards the front yard. So they did that flagstone plus crushed gravel thing that we like to do that looks very, very appropriate to this house. And look at how the color of the gravel matches so beautifully with the stucco of the house. And then it veers off with, looks like mondo grass in between the pavers to this side porch. And then it starts coming out over here. And he said that it was a solution to a problem because they just couldn't get any kind of grass to grow over in here, so they extended it out this way. And now we discussed the possibility of maybe they're taking that even further out into the yard where grass is still struggling, and then maybe getting some big pavers and gravel and meeting up over here with this flagstone. So that unites one area of the garden with the other, and actually it unites that area to this area, and then by extension this area to the outdoor living room. So it's just lovely. It's not a mammoth backyard, but boy, they have brilliantly used every square inch of the space of this home. You can tell it is much loved, much used, and I just think it could not be any more charming. What say you? So if you liked this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with others who might be searching for kind of some of the ideas that we shared here and some of the solutions to problems you too may be experiencing.